Morning Meds is where we have conversations on topics that move the social, entertainment, and community gauge in a positive direction. We hope the conversations give you something worth medsing or meditating on at the end. This morning, we're in conversation with Sonia Wynter. She is a CEO, principal therapist at Tea House Therapy Limited. So as we gear up for the start of the new year, we thought it would be beneficial to delve into the crucial topic of managing our mental and emotional health, especially in the workplace at this time. The start of the year brings with it new targets and goals within organizations. Our meds this morning focuses on what to do if you don't feel fully prepared to get back to work after the holidays. But before we get to that, me want to talk about the people them like me who find the holiday period stressful. Am I wrong? Let's say good morning to Miss Sonia Wynter. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning. Thank you very much for inviting me. Happy New Year to both of you.
Thank you
Happy
so
New Year
much.
to
Happy
you
New
too.
Year to you. So Miss Wynter, before we talk about that, are there many people like me who just dread the holiday season and all the expectations and everything that comes with it, Christmas, New Year's, and people are expected to be cheerful and happy and, just in the spirit, and you're just like, I just want it to come and done and gone and get back to normal?
You're not alone. You're not alone at all. Christmas has a lot of hype for a lot of people, a hype that they feel like they can't quite meet. So you're not alone at all, and for that reason. And then we also tend to pack in so much and want to do so much and keep up so much that it can be overwhelmingly stressful. So
That's
fear
right.
not. You're not abnormal in any way, shape, or form.
Thank you for that affirmation. Now, so for the people headed back to work and dreading going back to work because, yes, New Year, all these resolutions, we're going to have targets, we're going to have this, we're going to have that. Anxiety setting in. Talk to us about managing that.
Yes, okay. You know why anxiety often sets in? Because when we reflect on the year past, we tend to do so with a lot of harsh judgment of ourselves, right? So we focus on what we didn't achieve, what we didn't do well, etc., and we kind of judge ourselves and beat us up like a big stick kind of a thing. And criticize ourselves, and that is not helpful at all. Think about it this way. If you had a good friend who was saying, boy, I should have done this, and was feeling regretful, you probably would encourage them to say, well, you have the chance of a new year. Let us see what we can work on. So that's how you would treat a good friend. But a lot of times that's not how we treat ourselves. We kind of heap up the judgment on top of our heads. And that can make us kind of start off in a discouraged spirit, if you understand what I'm saying. So I think a great way to start is to, yes, reflect on the past year, but acknowledge what you have achieved. And the things that you haven't achieved, remember you're a work in progress, So you have a chance to do a few things better in the year ahead and use the past failures or so on as learning opportunities. So the first thing I would say is reflect, but reflect with kindness to yourself and encouragement to yourself. See yourself as a work in progress,
That's well said, Mrs. Winter. Now, and Ronnie rightfully mentioned stress is at work, and I mean it's the first day back for a lot of persons. How would you recommend persons like the day to day? Because it's one thing, as you rightfully said, some persons reach way of March already, while still meds in March of 2023. Like the day to day, like from home into the workplace, how can a person like manage the stresses of life in general?
A big thing to start off with, is to think about what is it that I can control. I know professionals often say that, a lot of times we kind of fuss and get worked up over things that we can't change, like the past, and that can take away all our energy, all our motivation, and we can also focus on what is to come that we can't control yet. So a big thing is to start off the day with being still for a second and say, look, the day is ahead of me. What can I possibly take control of? I can take control of my behavior, my response. I can take control of how I treat other people. I can take control of how I treat myself. There are things about yourself and your reaction to what life throws at you that you can control, even if you can't control the exact stressors that are ahead. So I think doing that kind of analysis at the beginning of the day to say, all right, this will have control over, so I'm going to tackle this and this and this and this to the best of my ability. Everything else, I can't manage it, control it anyway, so let us pray for the best.
That's true. That's true, Mrs. Wynter. And before Roddy, you forward in again. Speaking of things that you can control, there's something there's an aspect of life now that persons truly believe that they can't control, and that's the influence of social media. Especially around this time of the year. At them time, the motivational speech I got kill with Mrs. Wynter. Like, even if we're not ready for it, you got somebody that say, you're too lazy last year. Get up and go get to work. How can we control the social media space and the influences of social media as it relates to seeking motivation going forward into 2024?
You know what it starts with? Awareness. Because a lot of us do get positive influences from social media, but a lot of us are discouraged by it, but we're not even aware of it. You know, it's almost like we're kind of addicted and we keep going back. So the first thing is awareness, to understand how social media is either helping you or holding you back. Then if it's something that is not entirely helping you, come up with a diet of social media. You know, set your clock and only a fixed amount every day. And then after that, work on the goals you have for yourself. You know, set realistic goals that match your lifestyle, your capabilities, your personal values, your dreams. Set goals that relate to you that are achievable. Small steps at a time. Focus on that. Take in a look at social media if you must. But manage it, you know, come up with a diet, as it were, you know. If you're finding that social media, you just, after you're done, you know, feel like do not, you know, sometimes some of us spend so long on social media, when you're done, you just
drained.
Like,
Yes.
you're drained, you know, want to do a thing after that. Because, you know, everybody there are having a good time achieving this, you know, thanking God for X, Y, and Z, what happened to them and what them achieve, and you look at yourself and say, Lord, I must, you know,
go on for me.
So, yeah, so I think if you could split your day. So, for example, again, it comes back to what can I control, right? I have my life to live. What can I take control of? And focus on that. More, you know, social, a lot of what's happening in other people's lives, you can't control at all. You have no, you know, control over. So focus on yours.
You know, I'm going to build on your analogy of a diet. And if resolutions were a plate being served, what would be on that plate? If I were making a resolutions, and my resolutions would consist of things that speaks to my mental health, my financial well-being, my social life, recreation, if I were to put those on a plate, how would you portion up those servings? What would be the healthiest serving on that plate in terms of resolutions? What should I have on that plate?
Well, you know what? When it comes to resolutions, you know, I think that it's important. It is very important to decide what are the resolutions that will work for your life. Makes sense? So for you, I'm hearing that, you know, hobbies, financial freedom, and so on are important to you. However, you know, it's first important to start with what.
Come on, we can't lose you right now, you know, Miss Wynter. Your connection seems to have given us some trouble. Let me see if I'm still hearing you. Iridred, we get her back?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to give her a few more seconds to reconnect, because we have to hear this.
Yeah, man.
Because people are planning them resolutions. Hey.
Even though I'm saying enough to load it up.
No, it's not. I'm not asking what the resolutions are.
No.
Yeah.
I'm telling the people, I'm just reminding them.
Yeah.
So as when they get them tips, nobody just take them and go tell everybody and load up your thing. Just take the knowledge. But
yesterday, one piece of thing in my house.
Hold on, like we got back Mrs. Wynter.
We got her back? All right. Yes.
I lost you there for a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
What you're talking about is really your personal values. Decide what is important to you. What do I want to work on this particular year? What is most important to me? Is it my work? Is it my career? Is it my relationships? You know, is it my personal development? Is it my physical body? What, you know, come up with a list of what is most important to you.
Make have a touch from step on my toe, so.
Or step on him belly.
But listen, if it get a rise out of you, if I touch a corn, it means that is important to you. And so set a realistic goal. Okay, that relates to something that is important to you, you know. If and as again, you know, in my line of work, I know the importance of relationships, okay? And a lot of us take those for granted. And relationships are something we can control. So, I mean, again, you would look at your plate, your diet, you know, you have the nutritional diet, certain amount of whole foods and vegetables and fruits and so on. Again, is what you must decide what is your diet. And it's based on what you are deciding is important in your life. Okay. And I would encourage you to look at it in different domains. You know, you have the domain of your work life and career or whatever. That's one domain. You have another domain that is your relationships. That's another domain. And you have relationship of your a domain of your personal development. You have the domain of self-care. That would include hobbies, relaxation, physical fitness, etc. All of those are potential things you can put on your plate, you know. And then you decide based on the importance
how you're
going to apportion your time.
Nice.
Understood.
You know?
Now, Mrs. Wynter, burnout is real. We're not gonna even go pretend. Something will go on from before 2023, and it's gonna continue. For person, how can we tackle burnout? And my first question before you head to tackling burnout. Do you think, especially in the workplaces, enough attention is being paid to burnout? Like, do you think employers acknowledge burnout? Do you think fellow employees care that them co-worker being burnt out, especially in, you know, high demanding jobs? Do you think as a society we acknowledge burnout?
You know what? The answer is yes and no. I think that, you know, how with the advent of COVID, there has been a lot more sensitivity around mental health, you know, and I think that sensitivity has created a compassion for the reality of mental health challenges that people can go through, of which burnout is one. So I think that individuals are more aware of the reality of mental health and therefore burnout. And similarly, I'm finding that organizations too are becoming more compassionate about the mental health of their team members, and so they are sensitive. I do think that we have a ways to go, you know what I mean, so that our existence in the workplace as well as at home can be a holistic one where we can always perform at our best. But what I will say is I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing in the workplace in terms of there's been a shift since COVID for people to at least acknowledge that mental health, burnout, stress, anxiety, depression, all of these things are real, just like other lifestyle illnesses. And you must take a proactive approach to prevent them, you know, and you must have a healthy diet around mental health as well to ensure that you maintain an appropriate standard of mental well-being.
Awesome. Speaking here with Miss Sonia Wynter. She is the CEO, Principal Therapist at Tea House Therapy Limited. Now, Miss Wynter, we can let you go in and share some background as to why we want to talk to Miss Wynter this morning. What is Tea House Therapy Limited, and what are some of the things that you deal with on a daily basis?
Okay, great. Thank you for that opportunity to give Tea House a little plug. I'm gonna seize it and run with it. So Tea House Therapy is a family of psychologists. At the moment, it is 12 psychologists working with Tea House. We focus a lot on helping people with burnout, for example, people who they're finding themselves stuck for one reason or another. And the reason could be depression, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, burnout. It could be also relationships. We focus a lot on couples relationships and helping couples to improve and to rebuild their bond with each other and the sense of connection and safety with each other. So we focus a lot on couples as well. We deal with adults only, so it's adult individuals who have different mental health challenges, and we also deal with couples as well.
Nice.
And our tagline is, please allow me to say, Tea House is where compassion lives. And I think we all of us in the team try to live that every day. So we meet our clients where they're at. Okay, we're not comparing them to any social media icons or anything. You come to us where you're at, we receive you where you're at, and we try and take you to where you want to go with your life.
Amazing.
Oh, wow. And with that being said then, Mrs. Wynter, share any social media pages, any website you'd like to leave with the Bridge Nation.
Oh man, you guys are really giving me a great New Year's gift. Thank you so much. Yes, we're on social media. We're Tea House Therapy, and most of our posts are about little tidbits, things that we're talking about now. About maintaining mental health, about sustaining important relationships, and just coping with the curveballs that life can throw us every day. Every single one of us get a slap that we don't expect at one point or another, and sometimes we just need a little help. Sometimes it's professional help, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's a little help from my friends. That wonderful, is it a Beatles song that I'll do it with a little help from my friends. It's a beautiful song. But it's about helping people cope with life's difficult and myriad challenges.
Amazing. It was a wonderful.
So it's Tea House Therapy, and we're online. We have a website, Tea House Therapy, as well, where you can find us. You can send us a DM, and we'll reach out to you, and you can come see us.
You could almost be a DJ as well, Miss Wynter. Thank you so much for chatting with us. You have prompted me to my next selection. Have yourself a wonderful day and all the best for 2024.
Blessings to both of you. Take care.
Thanks.